Hello and welcome to the Garden Invasion series. In this series, we will feature a variety of gardeners in Singapore who share a passion for plants. Today, we will be showcasing a plant couple with an amazing home garden. Here they are.
Hi, welcome to our home.
Hello, thank you so much for having me today. Can I ask you a few questions about your garden?
Sure, ask away.
Okay, great. Perhaps you can start off by sharing how the both of you got started on your gardening journey.
So initially my husband Sean didn't want to have any plants in the house because of allergies, but I love green, so we compromised. Plants in front of our house.
Well, that certainly has resulted in a very beautiful garden and inviting garden that we see here before us today. So what inspired you guys to start your very own garden?
Well, it was for love, as cliche as it sounds, and of course the pandemic struck and it became a nice hobby for us to spend time and also to work from home in. And of course our neighbours also enjoyed our greenery, and so we really green it up and we make sure that there's no obstruction of the pathway, there's nothing that's blocking people, so it's safe for everyone.
Wow, that's nice to hear that your neighbours are enjoying the garden as well. Perhaps you can share with us two of the biggest challenges that you guys faced in building your garden, and how do you overcome them?
I think one of the major challenge was actually light. We have very beautiful indirect light here, but it's not bright enough for our plants, so we actually got grow lights. The other is wind. Living in quite a high floor, we actually get a lot of winds during normal times, don't talk about monsoon season. So that's one of the other things that we make sure to secure all our plants so that they will grow healthily and they will stay with us.
So I see that you have a collection of aeroids over here. Why do you choose to grow aeroids, and is there anything special about them?
Well, we first started with orchids and calatheas because they're beautiful and they're colourful, but we realized that they don't do well because they need a lot more light. So we went to research on what would suit our area, and we found out that aeroids are actually a lot of species that are forest dwelling, so they actually do very well with our bright indirect light here. That is why we chose to have aeroids, because they would really thrive in our environment here.
Ah, I see. Perhaps you can show me your typical maintenance routine for your aeroids.
Well, sure. First of all, we tailor our soil mix with a well-draining mix that dries out in roughly 5 days. So that allows us to water the plants once a week. During watering, we will check the leaves for pests, check for any yellow leaves that we need to prune, and then we move on to fertilizing. Fertilizing, we have slow-release pellets in the soil, and we supplement this with a foliar fertilizer once every 2 weeks, as well as a root mycorrhizal inoculant that will boost microbial activity in the soil. Once a month we do that. Lastly, and most importantly, we check that there's no stagnant water, everything is neat and secured, and everything is tidy for everyone's enjoyment.
Wow, no wonder your plants look so happy and healthy. You guys really take great care of your plants.
Yes, we do, but that's not all. We've got more plants inside. Would you like to see?
Okay.
Then come on, let's go.
Wow, this looks like a pretty neat setup. Is there a difference between the plants grown inside and outside your home?
Yeah, so while the plants outside mimic a forest floor environment, we've got a desert environment that we tried to recreate here with our succulent red.
I see. So what do you recommend for home gardens?
Well, first, in terms of plants, beginner plants like Dracaenas or Sansevieras are really quite easy for beginners. We've got ZZs as well. In terms of aeroids, you've also got Syngoniums and Potauses. While in terms of making use of tight spaces, something that's really worked for us is actually tiering. So when you can't go out, you can actually go up.
Oh, that's great. So I noticed you mounted grow lights in your room. Do you recommend using grow lights for indoor planting?
Well, for us we would say definitely, because most plants will grow well in bright indirect light, but we don't realize that our house is actually very, very much darker than we think. So as responsible plant parents, we want to give the best nutrition to our plants, we should give them grow lights to supplement.
Well, that certainly is very good advice for indoor gardeners. So what are some other ways you guys make your plants part of your home?
So we've got the front garden, which is a nice welcome when guests come in. We've got succulent rack inside our living area, and these are often conversation starters when we have friends over. It also was one of the talking points when our MP came to visit us, and it was quite an enjoyment for everyone.
So how has gardening or being surrounded by plants changed your life?
Of course, now it's given us a couple hobby to do together. It's made our home nice and warm and cozy. Of course, gardening has also allowed us to interact with our neighbours more and getting close to them through our conversations. And their encouragement really helps us want to maintain our garden really nice and pretty for everybody to enjoy. Of course, finally, it teaches us a lot of patience and allows us to admire the nature's wonders as well.
Spoken like a true plant parent. I see you guys are part of a big plant-loving community online too. So how did that happen?
Well, I think we've just been very blessed to be able to share our plant joys and our journey with everyone. On our part, we just try to be genuine and post strong content that people can appreciate. So if they love our photos, that's great. And if our content helps them along with their own journey, that's even better for us. At the end of the day, gardening is really not about who has what hype plant or whatever race, but it's really enjoying the process together and making friends along the way.
Nice, nice. I also noticed you post a lot of photos of your plants online. Do you have any tips for taking nice photos?
Sure, certainly. Well, firstly, focus on growing healthy plants, and your plants will really look good to begin with. Next, pay attention to when your plants look most photogenic. For example, when there's a new leaf emerging or when there's interesting variegations or forms that it produces. Photography-wise, I would say the best advice is to fill your frame with a strong subject of interest. This means that you focus on the main thing that you want to highlight and minimize any other distracting elements. For example, like the nursery pot or other ugly leaves. So if you're shooting one plant, focus on the one leaf that looks best and leave out everything else. If you're going to feature a series of plants, make sure that you have an anchoring plant in the center and all the plants around it should add to the story either via shape, textures or colors.
Wow, interesting photography tips. Thanks for sharing. Do you guys have any other tips for beginner gardeners?
Yeah. Firstly, you start studying the environment that your home has so that when you start buying plants, you can buy plants that will thrive in the conditions that you can give it. Secondly, if you're looking to do outdoor gardening, start having conversations with your neighbours as well so you can make something that everybody will enjoy. And practice good habits of making sure there's no stagnant water and securing your plants so that they won't fly away.
And of course, remember to have fun and make friends because the whole planting journey is a lot more meaningful if you are able to learn from the successes and failures of each other.
Wow, very good advice indeed. Well, thank you again for your time and sharing your gardening journey with us. Goodbye.
Bye.
Wait, can I have a friendship plant, please?
Sure. Let's see. How about giving this one?
Yeah, that looks good.
This is a tassel fern and this is for you.
Okay, thanks so much. And that's all from our plant parents, Maxine and Sean. Till the next garden, bye.
Bye.
See you.